What's up everybody, whydavis here, back with another review. Today I'm showing you guys the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found. Now disclaimer, I am not a legit checker. I will say that I did grow up in the hood and I always had rituals of not buying shoes for resale. It was just something always against my will. Number one, because my mom wouldn't let me use her credit card 10 to 13 years ago. And number two, if I didn't have the money, I would definitely need to trade my shoes to get the item that I needed, which is still things that I live by today. If I can't get a shoe that I need, I would definitely need to trade something that I have. And that's why I do normally, double up on things and triple up on things, because that's the best way to do it in my opinion. Now I will say that, I need to do this detailed review because people are going to be spending $500 to $400 on this shoe when this shoe does release, because let's be honest, most of us is not going to be able to get this shoe for $180. But with all that being said, let's get right into it, guys. So this is what you can expect on release day. We're about 3 weeks out. I was able to get my hands on this shoe from a credible source who is much like myself but does pay a bigger price to sell for a bigger item. And let's get right into it, guys. So here we have it. This is the box right here. Now if you guys don't know the story behind this shoe, basically they were calling this the Reimagine, and I love the fact that they did change the name to Lost and Found. It's just a better whole story in my opinion. Now let's start off with the box here. So I'm not going to go too ahead of anything. On the top of the box here, as you see, we get a mismatched lid, and the reason for that is because they couldn't find the original, and basically this was supposed to be sold out of a mom and pop. If you guys look at the paper that comes on the inside when we first open up the box, it says Sandy Bros. This shoe was sold to Paul L on 8/30/86. All right, Air Jordan basketball shoes, paid cash, final sale, Leah N. All right, and it looks like they paid $64.99. All right, pretty fire in my opinion. On the back of this paper, it is white. As you guys can see, the back of this paper is white, and it is yellow. Okay, the paper is also yellow. It does have like some green accents on it, but the paper is not green, if you guys can see that. Okay, now on the tissue paper here, as you guys can see, I also did a video like in my earlier days of doing YouTube on the Air Jordan 1 KO. I go real deep into detail about how the shoe was made, what led Jordan to like go to Nike brand and everything like that. I'll leave that video right here if you guys want to check that out. Because shoes wasn't selling out like how they do nowadays instantly. When I was a kid, I was able to wake up 5, 6 in the morning, be first in line. I leave a lot of information in that video. But anyway, this is what the tissue paper looks like. As you guys can see, similar to what I was talking about in that video, just showing us the low prices of what the shoes was going for, what the shoes started at back then. Imagine paying $59 for a pair of these shoes, man, back then. This is crazy to think about. This is what you get on the inside of the tissue paper. Also, we get a white layer of tissue paper as well. Now, I did forget to show you guys the front of the box here. So on the front of the box, I did go to size 9.5. You do not get this just retail on this box, but the shoes cost $180. Okay, as you guys see, we get 2 stickers right there on the front of the box as well. That is yellow, and it says the price of the shoe, which is $64.99, and then it has a sale on top of it. All right, now these are actually real stickers, so when you rub your hand on that sticker, you'll actually feel that it does have a raised up feeling. And you can also see right here in this clip, I did try to take off the sticker. I didn't want to take it off because I didn't want it to rip, but as you guys see at the top, if you look really closely, this is a real sticker. See, it comes down a little bit. You guys are looking at this tag on the front here. You can actually see through it, and I also put the black light on it as well to show you guys what you should be seeing when you are looking at this tag. Okay, show you guys that real quick. All right, now on the other sides of the box, it comes in like a regular Air Jordan box. Like I said, they couldn't find the top of the box. It came with the orange lid. This is how my lid came, stamped by the swoosh. Other side says swoosh. All right, so man, I'm so excited, guys. Open up this shoe right here. This is actually, fun fact of the day, my first ever Chicago. I wasn't able to get this in 2016, and I finally have it today. Now, when these officially do come out, I will definitely have to get at least 5 pair of these. Hopefully I'm able to get them for retail, but it is what it is. Now, also on the inside of the box here, as you guys can see, you get a green sticker. Now, if you guys don't know about this green sticker, you see how it has like those lines in it? That is how your green sticker should look. Just showing you guys that real quick. Now, another thing, I am a retail poppy. If you guys don't know, or this is your first time coming to the channel, more than 90% of my shoes come from retail stores. Okay, that's why I show you all my shoes on release day. So you can expect to receive this on November 19, 2022. Bottom of the shoe, I have some friends here, as you guys can see. I compared these to the 85s, and I compared these to some Air Jordan 1s, you know, that came out this year, and one or two that came out a few years ago, like the Hyper Road and things like that. But if you guys didn't know, the Air Jordan 1 started costing $180 this year, and we got a new shape on the shoe. Now, I will say that this shoe does have similarities to the 85 and the Air Jordan 1, and that's why I have those other shoes here to show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, on the bottom of the shoe here, as you guys can see, it's all red. In the middle there, we get the Nike with the swoosh in it, and as you guys see on the bottom, it has like a white dust material on it, or it looked like it's just been sitting somewhere and got very aged out. This is what they was basically saying, like in the story of how your shoe might look if you lost it and found it, you know, 30 or 40 years later, like this shoe is. Okay, pretty fire in my opinion. Now, something that I did notice, that on my left shoe, it is very detailed at the bottom of the shoe. On my right shoe, it's not as detailed at the top of the shoe, but then when it goes down to the bottom, it is very detailed. I know some of you guys are wondering if this is residue, so I did grab a wash rag and I tried to wipe it off, and as you guys can see, it does not come off. So, you know, that is standard on these shoes. It does have those very detailed stars at the top of the shoe right there. Okay, now when I did start to compare these, as you guys can see with the 85 pair, you can see that the R is not the same as the 85 pair. All right, and more so closer to a regular Air Jordan 1 pair that we have seen. Okay, so if you guys look at the R right there, it's not as big as the 85. All right, so I did notice that right off the rip. Okay, so in my opinion, they did copy the sole from the Air Jordan 1. The font on the Air Jordan 1 Chicago Lost and Found is just a little bit smaller, meaning the font, and similar to the Air Jordan 1, as you guys can see. Okay, also I did notice, if you guys look at the traction pad is more similar to the Air Jordan 1. See how much thicker it is, like the Air Jordan 1. On the 85, it's a little bit more thinner, as you guys can see, and it doesn't have those grooves in it like an Air Jordan 1 that we've been seeing. Okay, show you guys that real quick. All right, now coming towards the midsole on the shoe, as you guys see on the midsole, it's like a sail midsole. It's kind of like aged out as the effect that they wanted. Show you guys that real quick on both the outside and the inside of the shoe. And we also get some white threading on here. Now, with that being said, I'm actually going to show you guys the black light and show you guys where the stitching lights up and where it doesn't. So I'm gonna show you guys that right now. All right, y'all, here we go. Turn off these lights. As y'all can see on the insole, that's what we're looking like on the midsoles. All right, you guys can see the stitching on these do not glow. Okay, I do have a watermark on the inside of my shoe right here too, as you guys can see right there, watermark on the inside of my shoe, a little bit on the back right there as well. Let's see what else I have on my left shoe. That's all I see on my left shoe. All right, on the back. All right, that was my left shoe. Now on the right shoe here on the inside. All right, we don't get any glowing on this stitching. Once again, I see a little bit of glowing up right here, but that might just be a little bit of glue. But other than that, let's get on the inside, show you guys the outside of this. All right, nothing too crazy. Once again, the midsole does not glow, as you guys can see. The midsole does not glow, my guys. All right, nothing on there. All right, let's look at the tongue. Show you how the tongues. All right, so my tongue does have a little bit of glowing to it, but on the stitching, but nothing too crazy, as you guys can see on my tongue. All right, probably should have left these unlaced so I can show you guys that, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, on the bottom here, solid once again. If you guys don't have a black light, you guys can go on my about page on YouTube and click the Amazon link if you guys want to get that exact black light that I was using, but that's just my opinion. I technically, like I told you guys earlier, don't buy a shoe unless I'm getting it for retail. Know somebody that got it out of a retail store, or know somebody that's a real credible source, but that's just my opinion. But I honestly don't have a reason to be a legit checker, because I get all my shoes out of retail stores, and you know, there's no reason for me to do that, because I know I got my shoe from this spot, this spot, this spot. But you know, it is what it is. Everybody can't do that. So coming up towards the base of the shoe here, now as you guys see, we get this white leather on the middle panel of the shoe, and you see how cracked this leather is. I really like the effect on this. Now, this isn't like the Air Jordan 2s that I showed you guys earlier this year, like when you literally touched on the paint and when you touched on like certain parts of the shoe, that shoe was just like falling off like dandruff. This one is a little bit better than that. I will say that over time, maybe they will crack like that, but I feel like they had a lot of practice coming up into this shoe that, you know, they made this shoe like literally perfect. Like it has the design of crack leather, but it's not like falling off. I love that effect about this shoe. I feel like even and my reason for saying that is like when you look on the production date that I will show you guys later, like these were produced, you know, not that long ago, which we normally don't see. So they had a lot of time to work on this shoe, meaning on how to perfect the cracking on these shoes, in my opinion. Now, if you guys look at that Air Jordan logo right there with the wings, as you guys see how embossed that is. All right, they stole that from the Air Jordan 1 85. So if you guys look at the 85s right here, you guys can see how embossed that is. I know it's not the same color, but guys, just look at the material used on it. You see how they're similar when it comes to the emboss? All right, now I'm gonna show you guys the Air Jordan 1s and how they're not similar. But this one looks like it's just stamped on. So I will say once again that they did take this part of the shoe from the Air Jordan 1 85. So they basically mixed the two shoes together on this shoe, in my opinion. Now, if you guys look at the leather material quality on this shoe, they also did steal that from the Air Jordan 1 85. It feels very similar to the Air Jordan 1 85. If I had my eyes closed and was feeling both of the shoes, I would think both of them was an Air Jordan 1 85. I touched on it compared to the Air Jordan 1 leather, which is normally in a tumble leather. And I'm gonna show you guys some differences on some different panels on some different pair of Air Jordan 1s right here. But as you guys can see, this is definitely similar to the Air Jordan 1 85 model, in my opinion. So they did steal that from that model. Okay, also with the swoosh, I feel like they stole the swoosh from the 85 model as well. Maybe it's just me and the stitching, but the swoosh on the Air Jordan 1 just looks a little bit smaller, in my opinion, compared to the Lost and Found. If you guys can see that on the outside and on the inside of the shoe as well, I feel like they did steal that from that model too. Okay, now coming towards the inside of the shoe, we get the same thing on the inside of the shoe right there. Pretty fire, in my opinion. Once again, this shoe is a mixture of the 85 and the Air Jordan 1. I just love this shoe right here, man. I'm at a loss for words, honestly. Now coming towards the toe box here, as you guys see, I'm gonna match up the toe boxes for you guys. If you guys look at the toe boxes on these shoes, if you guys look at the 85 toe box, as you guys see, it goes higher than the first lace. But if you guys look at the Air Jordan 1 and then the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found, all right, they're similar to where the line starts at the bottom of the shoe right there. So you see the first line lines up with the first line of the Air Jordan 1. All right, and on the 85, it goes much higher up into like the third lace, as you guys can see. All right, so I just want to show you guys that. So they did steal the toe box area from the Air Jordan 1, in my opinion, not the Air Jordan 1 85. Let's look on this material. This will crease up, and when I press down on it, you can actually see the creases and the cracking from it. So make sure you guys put some Work with True Trees in these if you want them looking nice and clean at all times, in my opinion. But you know, it is what it is. Now, if you guys look at the mud guard on here, we get that red on the mud guard. Okay, then we get some white under that with some white stitching, and then we see the very detailed stars creeping up from the bottom of the shoe. Towards the laces on these, as you guys see, my shoes did not come laced like this. This is how they came. I'll show you guys some pictures right here. This is how the shoes originally came. You know, they come just like that. They did not come laced up like this, and they don't have a plastic bag on the laces. As you guys know, Nike is moving to zero, and you know, with this shoe, they made it come just like how it would come back then. I don't know, I wasn't there back then. I don't know how it came, but I'm pretty sure that's how it did come, with just some laces in there tied up. Now, I do like the way the black contrast looks in the shoe. I also do like the way the white contrast looks in the shoe. So I'll probably do a 1-in-1 on this shoe when I show you guys later on. You guys look at the tongue on this shoe. As you guys see, we don't have the tongue length of the 85, but we do have that sail color and aged out color that we do get on the 85 on the tongue here. All right, so pretty fire in my opinion. Now, if you guys look at the top of the tongue here, it says Nike Air. But if you guys look right here on the font, okay, of the swoosh, more similar to the 85 font than the Air Jordan 1 font. And I'm gonna show you guys some close-ups right here, okay? Also, looking back to the R's right here, you see the R under the Nike, and then you see the R under the regular Air Jordan 1. The font on the regular Air Jordan 1 is much smaller, and the font is much bigger on the Air Jordan 1 85. So in my opinion, they did steal some detailing from the Air Jordan 1 85 when it came to the front of the top of the shoe right there. I'm coming towards the inside of the tongue here. As you guys see, we still do get that aged look and feel from the inside of the tongue. But if you guys look at the tagging on the inside of the tongue, it's more similar to the Air Jordan 1, okay? So with that being said, you see how the Air Jordan 1, it matches up like with the lettering, with how the language is done on there. On the 85, the language is different, okay? It also has that extra layer of flat. In my opinion, they did take the similarity from the Air Jordan 1 on the back of the tongue. When we come into the inside of the shoe right here, we get this black sock lining on the inside of the shoe. And when you feel on it, it does feel pretty nice and padded, very comfortable in my opinion. When you actually touch on it and, you know, pick it up from the back, like let's say like I was gonna be holding the shoes from the back, like I just got done playing basketball and I'm holding my shoes from the back, it feels like you're holding the Air Jordan 1 in the back, like the way the shoe is creased and the way the shoe is, you know, molded, if you know what I mean. Like if you guys look at my 85, see how like it goes a little bit wider. So this one is like a mixture of that. Like it feels like I'm holding the Air Jordan 1 in my hand, but you know, they made it, give it that shape a little bit like an 85, but it does feel like an Air Jordan 1 mold in my opinion to the inside of the shoe and how it feels like toward the padding and things like that in my opinion. Like when I squeeze the padding on the 85, it's not as thick as the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found, and I feel like it's a little bit more thick like the Air Jordan 1 in my opinion. If you guys can also look and see what I'm talking about right there, okay? Now, if you guys look at the tissue paper on these, all right, my tissue paper did come like this, very skinny compared to, you know, something like this, how it's normally like fat and oval. I don't know if that's gonna matter, you know what I mean? But mine did come like kind of skinny, I will say. I don't know if that's gonna matter, but I just want to show you guys, you know, what I got and what I received. So, you know, you guys can have a better, you know, a better eye on what to look for when you do receive your pairs. All right, now the insole on my shoe, all right, is white, as you guys see, and the sticker did come at the top, not on the bottom. All right, and it says size 9.5, says Nike Air down there. Pretty dope in my opinion. Show you guys that on these very comfortable polyurethane insoles. All right, both of my shoes did come like that. Now I'm gonna show you guys the back of the insole, and I feel like they stole the model from the Air Jordan 1. As you guys can see on the back of my other Air Jordan 1 models, it does say Dream Sole as well. Okay, on the 85 pair, it is much thicker. The insole is much thicker, a little bit more comfortable too in my opinion. I did wear my 85s a few times, and I will say when I was trying on the Lost and Founds, the 85 is a little bit more comfortable. I'll even show you guys the thickness difference here so you guys can see. And this one is a little bit more flimsy than the 85 one. This one is more stiff and still, as you guys can see right there. A little bit more added cushion on the 85. The last shoe that we got with the regular glue insole was the Air Jordan 1 denim, that if I'm not confused, I might have said that in that video as well. Go check it out. It did steal the Air Jordan 1 insole and put it into this shoe instead of going with the 85. Now under the actual insole, I'll show you guys, it is gray, as you guys can see. Now if you guys look a little bit further up where the stitching and things is, this shoe is held down by white tape, thin white tape. If you guys look at that, it shouldn't be yellow, it shouldn't be a different color, it should be thin white tape. Probably one of the most important things everybody wants to see, when was this shoe produced? And on my shoe, it says 05, 24, 22, 07, 29, 22, okay? Now, this may vary, but I know 99% sure, I'm 99% sure on this, this is what you should be expecting on the inside of your shoe. Now, I will say that Nike has been delaying shoes on the US side, meaning like, you know, the UK and things like that have been getting shoes earlier than us. And I think that's because they've been trying to like kill this whole resale thing where, you know, this shoe started off at what, 2,000, now it's going for 500 because of how many pairs it is. Won't be shocked if, you know, sneakers just did a shock drop and dropped, you know, hella pairs to where this shoe can go down even more, because, you know, I was reading things that they did want this shoe to basically like sit on the shelves because, you know, they want to stop reselling to a certain extent. I don't know what they want to do, honestly. I don't want to speculate on anything like that, but, you know, I do know that, you know, if you guys think about it, they got the taxis before us, they got the Canyon before us, they got what other shoe was it? Popular shoe. It was one more popular shoe that they got before us, but when those shoes wasn't out yet, the shoe prices was up. And then, you know, once they got it, and then we got it, what, a few months later, you know, the shoe value did go down. With that being said, on the inside of the date, that is a very rare date that we see. That was very close, you know what I mean? That's like a few months ago that they ended production, and normally it's like a year out. So I don't know if, you know, COVID had anything to do with that, or, you know, they just wanted to make sure they had enough pairs of supply. Everyone, I guess we will see on release day if, you know, my information is right or not, but let's continue with the shoe. So, all right, coming back towards the back of the shoe, that we get that red leather on the back of the shoes. I do see a little bit of glue stains on the back of my shoes all the way at the bottom, but that's really the only imperfection that I do see on this shoe. Now, I'm gonna show you guys my footers in the toe box right now.
Hey guys, so this is what they look like on feet. Pretty clean in my opinion. Now I'm a true size 9, normally get 9.5 in all my shoes. except for 450s and 350s. I believe you need to go a full size up on those. Now, I will say that I did go up half a size on these, and they do feel amazing. Now, this shoe does fit true to size, but I personally go up half a size for preference reasons. I normally put shoe trees in my shoes to help them from creasing, and sometimes the material hits the inside and the outside of my feet, and I really don't like that, because if I'm buying shoes for hundreds of dollars, you know, I want them to be the most comfortable as possible, and I don't want to have to worry about taking them off throughout the day or thinking about my feet hurting and things like that, complaining, and whatever the case may be. Now I'm gonna show you guys my foot is in the toe box here. As you guys can see, I'm wiggling around, but if you guys cannot tell, my big toe is right here. Okay, so I do have a little bit of space in here, as you guys see. Not that much, not too crazy. All right, this is my big toe. I do have a little bit of space in here. All right, now I don't feel anything, any pressure, anything on the inside of my foot or on the outside of my foot, so that is a good sign on these. And this is a half a size up. I feel like they feel amazing on feet, you know, even with that new insole that we do get on these, they feel amazing. Now I will show you guys that I don't have any slippage on here as well. Show you guys that, and this is pretty unloose. As you guys see, this is normally how I like to wear my shoes, and I don't have any slippage on here either, just in case you guys was thinking about going a half size up. Other than that, they feel really nice on feet, and I'm gonna show you guys what these look like with some different pants options right now.
Okay, guys, hope you guys like this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, show your boy some love, and stay tuned.